Hello, everyone, and with the expansion draft coming tomorrow, we have to ask the question: is Carey Price going to be selected by the Seattle Kraken? Now, this may have seemed impossible a few days ago, but with Carey Price moving his no-movement clause to protect Jake Allen, things might have changed. And before we start, please make sure to like and subscribe. And in this video, we'll talk about why the Kraken might pick Carey Price and why they might not pick Carey Price. There's definitely some reasons why and why not. So with that, let's dive in. Now, there are a few factors that I think will stop the Kraken from getting Price if they decide to. His age, that's a big factor. His contract and injuries are certainly things to watch out for, and we'll break that down in this video. So, Carey Price this year was the 16th oldest goalie to play in the NHL this past season. And with guys like Ryan Miller and Pekka Rinne, they're retiring. That's probably going to open up a spot where he goes even higher. In fact, it would have to unless some old goalie came in. Plus, he's going to be turning 34 in less than a month. He's going up. He may even be a top 10 goalie for age by that time. I don't know. Now, traditionally, that's not who you'd want to have in net for you. And there's other factors, too, that would make you shy away from it. The second reason it is his contract, and we've talked about that before on here. In 2017, Carey Price signed an 8-year, $84 million deal with an AAV of $10.5 million per year. And I think about the fact that that just seems crazy because he makes more money than 28 teams pay both of their goalies in the league, if that holds up. And I'm pretty sure it does from a website that I used. Now, a soon-to-be 34-year-old goalie that makes more money than over 90% of the league out of their tandems, that's with 5 years left on the contract. It's kind of scary, let's be honest. Even if it's the greatest goalie of all time, which you got Brodeur, Hasek, you've got Watt, like all those debates, we could talk about that. But even if it's the greatest goalie of all time, GMs would have to be worried that the goalie might suffer injuries or age would catch up with him, which leads to our last reason as to why they might not pick up Carey Price. That's injuries. Now, there are two sides to this argument, and we're not exactly sure what those injuries are, which is why we're going to do the two sides card. We're going to look at both sides of the coin. But we know that supposedly Price is dealing with a hip and knee injury and could miss significant time this upcoming season. Now, we're going to look at the side that says it's convenient that that Shea Weber and Carey Price are both injured right around the expansion draft where, Shea Weber could retire, all that good stuff, that it's very convenient for Marc Bergevin. Now, we have to look at the other side too, though, which is Carey Price did miss, 19 out of the last 21 regular season games of the season while dealing with a lower body injury. So, that holds up there. So you have to think, is it true or is Mark just trying to find a way to protect more people with that? Those are some things that Seattle's going to have to think about before tomorrow. Do they both have injuries? I don't know. Marc Bergevin probably does. Now let's talk about why it would make sense for Price to be taken by Seattle. For starters, it is Carey Price, okay? If you're somebody that's my age, you watched him growing up, watched Carey Price in net, and even younger kids too, and obviously the older fans. But for somebody that's my age or younger, I'd say probably like 15, something like that, when you watched him, that was like a big thing. I wasn't even a Canadiens fan, but I would watch games for him just to watch him play in net. So from a marketing standpoint, it makes sense. And I think it's kind of like the Marc-Andre Fleury thing. People loved Marc-Andre Fleury when he was in Pittsburgh. When he went to Vegas, people started to buy his jersey more, I think. I've seen a lot of Marc-Andre Fleury jerseys, and I live in an area where there are no Vegas Golden Knights fans, or there shouldn't be traditionally. So there is that. And, think about it. Carey Price, he's a likable guy, family-oriented. He does charity work, stuff like that. There's no reason to think that effect wouldn't happen in Seattle with this new team, these sick new jerseys. So you have that. People would buy his apparel, I guarantee it. So, the second aspect is that when Carey Price is on, he is one of the best goalies in the NHL. Now, I know there's been regular seasons that have been rough, some playoff stretches that have been rough, but overall, when Carey Price is on, he is hands down one of the best goalies in the NHL. He puts up video game numbers. In fact, Price posted the 6th best goal save above average in the playoffs out of all goalies, and once again showed why the playoff Price saying is thrown around. Now, at almost 34, can he do it all the time? I can't tell you that. I don't know. Goaltending is really hard to predict, so I'm not sure. But there are two more quick factors that we'll talk about the narrative, how it would fit perfectly. The first one being that Carey Price's wife is actually from Washington. And you know, from a marketing standpoint, the PR department would love that. You already know that they would talk about him coming back with his wife to the place she grew up to help establish this hockey fan base and establish an identity for them. You know that they would be smacking their lips on that. Now, another fact is that he played amateur hockey for the Tri-City Americans in the WHL, playing 193 games for them. What better narratives could you have? A new team where he played his amateur hockey, where his wife is from. From a storyline perspective, you can't tell me that's not something that would come out of a movie. You go from one of the most storied NHL franchises it's got to be either them or Toronto, I would say. But you look at that, and then you go into this new place that needs an identity. That's something from a movie script. And that's a PR person's fantasy, so it'll make them feel easy about that. Now, would I pick up Price if I was Seattle? I'm not sure, due to his age and his contract. However, I do think Seattle is probably considering it due to them likely being able to afford it, which we'll have to see how that works out. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Would you take Price in the expansion draft? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Everybody, stay safe, have a great day, and go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.